Think we are live. We are live. Let's get this show on the road. We're going to break down the market. Not too formal, but I want to go over a couple of charts. I want to go through some charts and want to make sure we're on the same page. Audio is working. There we go. There we go. Okay. Sounds good. I'll cut this up later into more strategic parts, but we're going to go. There's some huge opportunities that we're starting to see here. We're going to look at the charts so we know exactly where we are in the business cycle, lay out some context to what we're seeing. Technically, fundamentally, I want to break down a couple stocks. I want to talk about UiPath. I want to talk about Chainlink and some energy storage stocks also. I am looking at Zoom right now. Zoom, keep your eye on. Great balance sheet, probably one of the best AI applications. Is it pure original AI? Not necessarily, but it has a very good balance sheet. They just need to come out with a product. Zoom has a lot of potential. I actually am going to start with Opendoor. I got somebody to ask me about Opendoor before we hit rates and macro to see where we are in the macro era. Now, when I look at Opendoor, I'm not interested. It's in a Opendoor is still a hype stock. It's a meme stock. It needs the juice. I don't think it really has the juice. There's not a whole lot of volume starting to, rise up. Bollinger Bands, it's at the point where it is trying to wedge. If we go to probably a 4-hour chart, we can see a wedge forming. Let me take the Bollinger Bands off. You can see there's a tight little wedge forming on here. I just don't think it's ready yet. I don't think Opendoor is ready. I mean, the levels, if I had to do an analysis, I'd probably go to the daily. I want to see the volume. Let's look at the volume shelf. Where are we in the volume shelf? We're not ready here. I don't think the market's ready. Still trying to figure out what it wants to do. Let's go to the consolidation. Okay, consolidation. So during this consolidation period, it's trading at the lows. It looks like it's going to be trading here for a while. And you really need it to break above $9. I mean, if you're really trying to trade Opendoor, you don't care to get the best price at the bottom because you're not holding it for the long term. Some of you might be. In that case, it doesn't matter where you buy it. If you're trying to trade it, I would wait for momentum to pick up. You don't want to be stuck with your capital holding this. Now, if we go all the way to the beginning, Opendoor is probably going to retest $6 if we get another slip. So I don't think it's ready. Aaron, you know who I'm talking to? Look at the daily. I think it's stuck. Daily, weekly. I want to see the weekly RSI at least retest the the halfway point. I think it can really get hit hard. It should do good now that we have interest rates, and that's what I want to roll into next, which is where we are with rates. Are my charts optimized for the size of the page? Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we're a little more optimized there. Let's talk about what's fueling the market. Okay, is the Santa Claus rally intact? Is it still intact? I don't know. We're gonna do this. Is how I look at markets. Not that I'm some guru, but I want to help supplement you guys on this. So if we look at Nvidia, we look at the VIX. This tells me right off the bat we're not ready. We're not ready to fly higher. The VIX needs to shed. Okay, it needs to retest 20 to get that buy the dip opportunity. This is just overall market sentiment. So are we bullish? Yes, the Fed did cut. It was very bullish. As a matter of fact, the Fed is now, and I'm looking at the VIX because the VIX tells us, okay, where are we with the short-term emotion? Is it positive? Is it negative? Okay. And the VIX usually comes back to touch 20. We talk about it all the time. It's the easiest. If you were to combine all these indicators, it's the easiest thing to just look at and say, oh, that's where we are, right? These were by the dips. These sharp, upside moves in the VIX are buy the dip opportunities for the S&P, or at least a bottoming factor or a bottoming signal for markets. But right now we're in slow trend. The fact that we're breaking below 15, if we get below 15, and I need to look at some VIX, if we get below 15, we might be in a slow melt Santa Claus rally. That's it. We might be in the Santa Claus rally. I think Friday is going to be important. If we look at the S&P, so the VIX is telling us, hey, we're either going to slowly melt lower or we're going to rip back to 20 at some point. Hello. Okay. So let's look at the S&P 500. It looks bullish. It is very bullish. We got a bullish Fed cut. And what I want to do is mark, I want to put anchored VWAP on the Fed meeting. As long as we hold anchored VWAP from the meeting, okay? As long as we hold above this level, I think we're straight. We're good. Let me in the when we go down in time frames, I want to get a little more solid. All right. So I think the S&P is very bullish right now. It is strong, but we're getting rotations. Okay, we're getting rotations. Merry Christmas. We're getting rotations. Now, first and foremost, we had the Fed meeting and the Fed cut interest rates again. They gave guidance. Nobody cares. The thing that really got things bulled up, the thing that got me confident is that the Fed is now printing money. Regardless of what people say, they are now printing money. So let's go to the chart where they print money. We should start seeing this flatten out. Okay, we should start seeing this flatten out. The market is breaking all-time highs. The question is, where does it rotate? Does it rotate into tech? Are we rotating into defensives? Where are we rotating as of today? What do we see the day after the Fed meeting? Well, guess who bid up the most? Guess who's moving against S&P the most? NLR. We're seeing nuclear energy catch a bid versus S&P. This is relative strength. If we're getting nuclear energy, rally up, this is high beta moves. You got to be long the Oklos, the nano nuclears, right? I'm not going to name them all off. We can go there. So we have small caps ripping higher versus the S&P. You want to see relative strength because then you know what's in the leader, what's leading at the time versus the S&P. Usually it's SMH, but it's not today. It's not today. High quality. Okay. Those are just mega caps for the most part or large cap stocks. Micro caps. Wow. IWC is micro caps strengthening against the SPY. The other question is, do we see micro caps strengthening against IWM small caps? Yes, we do. We're in a risk on rally. Pay attention here. We're on a risk on rally here. Let's continue to look at this before we get to the actual stocks, right? That we want to look at. Who underperformed? ARK. That's weird. ARK should be outperforming. Okay, not today. Let's go to the daily chart. Not today. So we're getting a very particular rotation. SMH did not perform. A very particular rotation into the laggards. So nuclear energy, you got to pay attention to. The defense sector is, basically spending a lot of fiscal money into the nuclear names. We will talk about those nuclear names. We're going to go over them. But I wanted to point out that the VIX is giving us a clear signal that the bulls are very bullish. And we know that. Obviously, we're moving higher. But you got to be careful if we don't trickle lower day after day, if the S&P doesn't melt higher, okay? And this is going to be as of tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. Friday and Monday are going to be the most important days. The end of the week, going into the weekend, and then opening up. If we have the VIX below, below 15, melting tomorrow, it should gap up and then sell off. Gap up, sell off. It should do that for the next 2 days. Then we stay bullish. But if you see it just get collapsed through Friday, it's going to bounce very hard at some point and retest that 20 level. All right. Market sentiment let's talk about a little more rates here. This is what we want to see for small caps. At least we want to see rates stay in this band. We don't want to see a breakout. If we break out on the 10-year, right? If rates break above 4.2, it's going to be a rotation into larger cap stocks. Maybe we're talking, is it going to be NVIDIA? I think Apple right now is a candidate. I mean, look at Apple's trend, very strong trend. Okay, so if we get rates drop out or continue up, then Apple should be strong. Apple looks amazing as far as the trend analysis. It looks good. I don't know where it's at on the weekly chart. Let's go ahead and see. I haven't really looked at Apple, but Apple's just breaking all-time highs. There's no way. Wow, that looks good. So we might see a melt up in Apple. December 2024. This is insane. Yeah, Apple looks really good. I didn't even know it looked this good. I haven't been paying attention to Apple, but Apple looks good. You maybe want to see a little pullback. This you sell puts into it. Year-end rally. Just doing a little observation here. Okay. Anyways, I really haven't looked at all these because I'm doing a deep dive in some of these stocks. So I wanted to look at the macro with the audience together. 10-year yields versus inflation starting to fall. Okay. Liquidity coming down. We need that to happen. We need liquidity to rise. We need okay. That's fine. That's fine. Let's go to the actual breadth indicators, okay? So from now that we looked at that, breadth is very strong. We're probably going to see a risk rally in nuclear stocks. That's what it looks like, nuclear stocks. S&P equal weight all-time highs, advanced decline all-time highs. Very bullish signal here because the market is broadening. There's more small cap stocks that are going higher across the board. That's picking up. That's a very strong signal. We're getting rotation, very strong signal. So when you get rotation and you get broadening, advanced decliners up, you're in a bull market. As of today, this could change tomorrow. Who knows with the VIX? As of today, this is a trade. This is a year-end trade. How you doing, bro? Good to see you back. This is a year-end trade, right? This right here, this is so bullish. If you're not used to charts, advanced decliner, there's so many advancers versus decliners, S&P equal weight breaking out all time, got to be bullish. We're going to find those stocks. We're going to find them. Okay. I just want to make sure this imprints in your head. Okay. New highs. Check this out. Look at new 5-day highs exploding, new 1-month highs exploding. And this is all the way back to what are we looking through? September. So we're breaking multiple month highs on new highs. Breadth is expanding. Investors are going crazy. 52-week highs, right? Fund managers are going crazy. New 52-week highs. This is the highest new 52-week highs since last year. Are you kidding me? I got to bookmark that one. Somebody bookmark this for me. Okay. Somebody bookmark this. So we got the high. Let's see. Let's go ahead and mark it up. November 2024. Well, what was November 2024, guys? What was November 2024? That was the election. So we're getting an election type rally here. Oh my goodness. Didn't even know it was this bullish. New 52-week highs. This is November 2024. Basically the election. Okay. That's very bullish. Wow. I'm going to put that in the Discord so I remember all this. Okay, good. Let's look at some more stuff. There's so much, data that is bullish. We're going to hit the stocks. We're going to hit the actual stocks. Crypto too. But I want to make sure that we get this down. Let me see. Can I draw this out? There we go. Okay. So this is how many stocks are rising above their 220 and 50-day moving averages, right? So those those moving averages, how many stocks are rising? We're all above the halfway mark. So more than half the market is, let's go to the 200. A little more than half the market is over. I'd say what, 2/3 are above your 200 moving average. That's great. That's good. 20-day moving average in the short term, 70%. Okay, 50-day is lagging. We want to see the 50 cross the red, and then it's a strong risk on. But okay, after the Fed meeting, the Fed's cutting rates. They're buying treasuries. They're doing QE on the short end of the curve. So they're injecting liquidity into markets, period. And the market is responding. The market is responding Okay, anything else super high? Same thing for new highs. We got the most new highs. No, that's not it. That's not it. Okay, so longer term, we're getting a big recovery, and this tells me exactly why I want to look at these lagged software stocks. I think we're going to get a rotation into software. Wow. Okay, so that's better than I thought. That's better than I thought. I guess we can move on to the actual stocks unless I miss something else. Yeah, let's do it. Um, there are some risks, obviously. I want to use this one. There are going to be some risks that we got to look out for, as always, but I think most of them are gone. Um, I think I'm just gonna say straight up, I think we're looking at a bear market in 2026, right? Let's just draw this out really quick. If we go 2026, okay, I think this is I have this one on here. If we go out to 2026, these were all corrections. We didn't really get the correction yet. This was a very delayed correction. And that tells me the fact that it was so delayed and it wasn't very deep, we're probably going to grind higher into January, February. When we hit the next earnings season, that's where I think, depending on how elevated we are, we might see the correction. Okay. Would you say S&P are looking bullish in the short term? Yeah, very bullish. Very bullish. I mean, you would have to get a negative surprise to really turn off this bullishness, because at this point, remember, fund managers have to buy, right? They call it window dressing. They got to chase performance. They got to show that they own the best performing stocks in the market. And this is what I mean. If we literally just look at leadership today, who's bouncing hard? The nuclear stocks, Oklo. Let's go to an Oklo. All right, look at this trend. So if you owned Oklo, which is Sam Altman actually, helped fund Oklo, then, everybody wants to say, did you get Oklo? Do you have Oklo? How does it look? I'd say it's starting to bounce here. Okay. So let's take a look at Oklo. Broke the trend. It's on, it's definitely trying to rise. What I don't like about Oklo is the weekly chart. I don't like the weekly chart. It could bounce here. I'm not 100% sure. The question is, which nuclear stocks are actually bouncing? So we're going to flip over to the in-play nuclear stocks. Then I'm going to hit software. Let's just look at this, because I didn't realize this. Okay, BWXT, they probably had the best government contracts. This one looks straight. I do not like that weekly, though. If we're going to take more risk here, ooh, this looks good. Nano nuclear. If we're going to be taking more risk, okay, BK Digital, let me throw you on there. You do like QQQ and SPY, huh? Damn, the nuclear names look good. CCJ. Okay, so we're looking more fundamentally sound, right? The ones who have earnings. BWXT has earnings. I think they're profitable. I'm not sure. I actually do want to go through some of these earnings so you guys can see who's profitable, who's not. CCJ, this is going to be the uranium miner. Oklo has no earnings. I mean, I don't even think they have revenue. So it's not catching a bid in the same way. If we go to the 30-minute chart, okay, it's not catching a bid in the same way. It's trying to recover. It is trying to recover, but it's not catching a bid yet. It needs to really break through this little downtrend and sustain it. Okay. So maybe 105. I'm looking at some trades, but I think it needs to clear 110 if we're going to get, long on Oklo. Who bounced hard then? Who's been trending harder? I think it's the uranium miner. Yep. You had the cup and handle here. Continuation after that cup and handle. Okay, so this looks good. CCJ could be a nice trade. I do want to look. I said I do want to look at the fundamentals to make sure, because yeah, that's true. Because investors, or the market at least, is rewarding more profitable. It's we're still in high risk zone. I mean, you have stuff like this. Okay, let me just show you guys really quick why the market is nervous. We haven't got a reset on these high flyers. We haven't got a real true reset yet. Okay. Look at Micron, just absolutely tearing. And of course, they have, a really, unlimited demand for their chips, for memory chips. Nobody else does it. So Micron is up a whole lot. I got out of this trade and I thought it was up too much, kept going, broke all-time highs again. Okay. So you have Micron and it looks even worse when you go to the regular view. Okay, let's go to the regular view. Look how bad this is. I'm going to go through the memory chip names. And this is where I think they're at their end. This is it. This is going to be the year-end rally for these stocks. Am I going to be the most bullish on them? Not necessarily, because it'll take 1 or 2 days for them to really get smashed. Okay, so here's the most bullish stocks in the the early stage of the AI stack. You got Western Digital, and I'm going to put this in regular, just so you can see how vertical they've gotten. Okay, you got Western Digital. From the pullback, it's already up 40%. Okay, that's a chase. That's a performance chase. Seagate, same thing. From the pullback, this one's up 47%. You got to be kidding me. And I was scared to trade these. I was like, maybe they get crushed. PSTG is another storage. It's slightly different type of storage. Could it recover? Yeah. I mean, it did pretty well from the April lows. It's not up 500%. It's up 100. This one could be a recovery stock, but I'd have to check the earnings and see why they sold off so hard. Okay, and I'm just going over the memory. Look at this, SanDisk. More storage stuff. This one actually looks better. This one actually does look better. You could trade this one. Okay, yes, I am live. This one looks tradable. Not bad. Okay, so this could be a good year-end rally trade. I'm gonna hit ASTS and Rocket Labs. We've been watching those for a while. Also, I just want to go over these chip names that are going to hit their end, and it's networking too. It's memory, storage, and networking. I should have AMAT on here too, and Arista Networks. But I'm sick of the chips. I don't really want to see chips right now. Okay, I'm going to show you what I like software, but yes, ASTS is exploding. I was waiting for the pullback, didn't happen. Okay, this might be the most beautiful chart that's non-tech. Well, it's this is more telecommunication technology. It's a specialty. They're 5G, 5G direct to mobile 5G. Beautiful chart. Great fun. I mean, great technicals. They're not profitable yet, not even close. So it is a high risk. I still want to be patient here. Here's what I'm looking for, and I'm not taking anything else but this trade. ASTS did this last time. Okay, let's go ahead and reset this chart. It went stupid, and then it broke out and it rolled over. Broke out again. Rolled over. So it took a couple breakouts before, it was a real sustainable breakout. So that's what I'm hoping we see here. What the hell is wrong with this? All right. I'm hoping what we get is a little retest to make this stronger. If we see this, so you're sick of the chips? Yeah, I'm sick of the chips. I mean, if I was holding it, I'd stay long. But right now, I'm like, nah, I don't want to go chasing chips. You don't want to get caught. They're going to want to make you, damn, this thing is strong. I have some call options on ASTS. And I hate when people just say, oh, well, I got options, but I didn't fully size in. These were they're not real trades. They were fillers. And I'm like, damn it, it's taking off on me. I don't want to buy the bid much higher. We'll see what happens. But if we get this is going to be a great trade. Okay. If you get this, because now you're looking at a nice little wedge pattern form. Okay. This is what we want to see. We want to see a wedge pattern form here. That'll be perfect. This is daily, so it'll probably come back to the middle, settle somewhere here on the RSI. The weekly, does it agree? Let's see. Does the weekly agree? Man, the weekly just says we're going higher. but we could hit some resistance here. I don't think we're necessarily going straight up. I could be wrong. A lot of people are chasing this. A lot of people are chasing this. A lot. I could have just got scared, just didn't do it. So ASTS for sure. I want to see a pullback though. We are kind of in resistance. We're hitting a little bit of resistance. Let's go to see what this profile looks like really quick. Where would we see a pullback? Okay, 72. I want to say anything between 60 and 70 is going to be fair game. 60, 70, you want to see the curl up though, not just chase it. And then we also have by Dorfer Rocket Labs. Go ahead and hit Rocket Labs. I'm sick of the chips. Me too. I think ASTS will pull back too strong of a move for exactly. It's too strong. It's too damn strong. I mean, don't get me wrong. If I think it just didn't consolidate long enough. Just like here when it had that strong move. Okay, I'm sorry, my computer's so damn slow. This is pissing me off. Strong move sold off. It was just too strong, too quick. I think we might get that. That would be the perfect setup. That'll be the perfect setup if we get a pullback. All right, let's go ahead and move on. ASTS is a complete monster, 5G mobile. A lot of people are just trading it, but this is not even what I think is the best. Go to Rocket Labs. Same thing, very strong move for Rocket Labs. I want to see further consolidation. I want to see further consolidation on this one. The daily is saying, hey, we're going higher. The weekly, and I know people are chasing this because SpaceX is supposed to IPO pretty soon at what 800 to 1.5 trillion. That's insane. But we could get a rollover. These are setups, so you don't necessarily need to chase this. Do not chase it. I wouldn't chase it. Let's see where our volume profile is at from the pullback. Let's go from the pullback. Okay, so if we go from the pullback and then dial it in, let's go to the 30-minute chart. Get a little more visibility here. I mean, it would be amazing to get a pullback into 50, right? A pullback into 50, you see this big volume step here around 50, 51. This would be perfect. It gets up too much, it pulls back. This is when the VIX, and this is what I'm saying. This is why I'm watching the VIX. When we get the VIX spike, and right now it's, you know, it's falling, you got to be long something. When the VIX does spike to 20, that's going to be, you know, when it starts to really pick up steam and break 17, that's going to be when you go back and say, okay, ASTS, where's my dip buy? This thing's going to get hit. It'll get hit, right? Where do I buy it? 71, 72. Where's their support, right? Rocket Labs, RKLB. Where do I get in? All right. If there's nothing else, I'm going to move on, or that you guys have, I'm going to move on to these damn software names that I was looking at. This might be for further into the summer, not necessarily, you know, year-end rally. They might catch a bid. They could not. Who knows? Let's do a little bit of compute as a service. Compute as a service. I think I have 2 or 3. CoreWeave. Oh, that's not CoreWeave. I mean, am I blind here? Where's CoreWeave at? Why is it not in here? Did I move it? Well, either way, Iron has almost reset on the daily. Okay, this one I'm definitely taking a look at. They're going to chase this. Don't get me wrong. They're going to chase it. You just got to be patient. Anchored VWAP from the previous low. Perfect setup. Anchored VWAP from the previous low is giving us around 35 to 40. So I want to say 35 to 40. You have like a, you know, you have a bear flag here. So I think it'll be resolved pretty quickly if the bear flag breaks, retest 35, and then, you know, bounces out of there. I mean, you could say it's a wedge. It doesn't really matter. Sort of a bearish flag either way. Either way. Let's go to CoreWeave. I like CoreWeave. I like CoreWeave. The question is, you know, CoreWeave is not profitable yet. They're in so much debt. Yes, they're growing, but is the market going to reward that right now? I don't know. There's so many questions with Oracle and how much debt they're taking off is going to pop, you know, the evaluation on who is it? OpenAI. So there's a lot of questions here, but I love this trend. I mean, you have a beautiful flag, a gigantic flag pattern. I'm long core weave at the time. I'm long right now. Once I see once I see us get past the 50 mark on the RSI, okay? So once we get above here, I'm pretty much gonna lay on another trade. Like I'm gonna layer on some more size. And if you want to see my size or what I'm, you know, how I'm picking these options, go subscribe to not subscribe. Go check out the Discord up there. Okay, go check out the Discord. But yeah, the break above 91. This is good. And then once we retest, we'll see if we can really break higher. But CoreWeave has some of the fastest growing revenue in the entire market. It's literally CoreWeave and Iron who have, I think, quarter over quarter, like 200% revenue growth. Absolutely insane. Insane revenue growth. Are we going to look at that right now? No, we're just looking at the charts. I also like Applied Digital, but again, I'm not sure if the market, I want to see another pullback. Okay. I want to see another pullback. This is probably a performance chase. That's going to be my guess. I want to see one more pullback. We have the same issue here with all these compute as a service stocks though. Galaxy, probably the same thing. We have an issue with all these, which is the RSI is weakening. It didn't fully reset and they're weakening. The MACD is rolling over. So I'm not interested in these guys. Not right now, but I am checking them out because I know they're going to be monster plays. Nebius, look at this. Look at this RSI rolling over. Look at this weakness. I don't like it. MACD weakness. So yes, a lot of people want to get long Nebius and they want to get long, but be careful with these. I wouldn't be so bullish on them right now. Okay. HUT, I like. It's nat gas. It's not fully rolled over. I like HUT. HUT has a more constructive trend. It did reset to the previous highs. So I like HUT 8. And also they make more money. HUT 8 is profitable. They're a much more profitable company. So it is being rewarded if you want to get long one of these. TeraWolf is not it's not profitable yet. None of these really are. None of them are actually profitable. They have revenue, but none of them are actually rolling through with positive net margins, which is going to be something you want to focus on. If you don't want to get caught holding something for 10 years, I'm just kidding, like 10 months, right? Is Iron profitable? I'm not even sure Iron is. I don't think so. All right, let's move on. Unless you guys have something Galaxy Digital, it's the same thing for Galaxy. And when it comes to CoreWeave, oh, I'm bullish on CoreWeave. I just don't know. Actually, CoreWeave looks good to me right now. I'm just not sure it's the best positioning at the moment, right? I'm not sure. All right, so here's what I like. Here's what I like. Okay, this is one of the best charts, and we did talk about this. Twilio, they are profitable. They're picking up AI tooling. There's a lot of costs that are gonna have to go here, but Twilio is simply telling us, hey, it wants to move to. Thank God I got rid of that thing. Twilio is above the golden pocket, if you want to call it that, whatever. I don't know what the name is, but I see Twilio moving to it's at what 140. I see us moving about 200. Quick little run to 200. I don't know when, but the trend looks really good. You said you see the weekly is accelerating, the daily is accelerating. We got a crossover MACD on the daily and the weekly. So we have that. We're holding the halfway mark on the daily. And if we dial in here even further, we could take off these drawings. You can see it's basically a big wedge pattern and inside of another wedge. Okay, so we're doing like a double wedge here. Twilio is screaming breakout. What up, Mike? I am going to look at Microvast. Still has a beautiful trend. So Twilio, what I would say when it comes to Twilio, and I know some of you guys already know what you're looking for, but Twilio, you definitely can, I don't want to say close your eyes, but this shit looks good. Okay. Twilio looks really good. And software is going to catch a bid at some point. WDC, no, Sky, my bad. Sky, just to give you a little backing. Here we go. Sky Cloud Systems is, oh, no. SKYY. So we're going to look at cloud, okay, which is kind of software names, and versus SMH. When this starts to turn up, that's when you're going to get the software trade, this relative strength. So the ETF just gives you the breadth of software. We had that here June 2024 to about December. So we had 6 months of a software outperformance versus the, I'm going to get to battery stocks. We had 6 months of outperformance in software. Let's look how some of these did. This was last year. Actually, let's keep that on the weekly, so it's a little more clear, right? 6 months outperformance, software, and they need to make better ETFs. I wish I could make my own, not literally, but just, put stocks. Somebody needs to invent an app where you can put a basket of stocks and compare them against another basket, where they don't have to actually be tradable, but just so you can see the relative strength. So if we go to Twilio, what happened last June? Last June, Twilio went from 54, it went up 100, it almost tripled. Okay, it almost tripled. So that's what I mean by watching that. Another software name, Frog, but that one's already exploding. You wait for the pullback on that one. GitLab, not interested. Okay, this is what I'm interested right here. Team, TEAM, Atlassian. This is workflow tooling automation, I guess you could just call it, right? It's kind of like Microsoft UiPath, not necessarily UiPath, but this one has beautiful technicals. Let's just take a look at here. Okay, we're on the weekly chart. It's very rare that you catch a stock that's barely starting to move up, that has a very nice trend. Okay, so we're in the early stage of momentum for Atlassian. I don't know, Atlassian, it doesn't matter how you say it. We're in the early stage momentum for that. Broader pattern is a gigantic wedge. Okay, it's a huge wedge. What's going to happen over time? This thing's going to go stupid to the upside because they are ranked in, who's the ranker? There's a couple research companies. One of them is the #1 research company for technology, and Atlassian ranks in the top 3 for some of these automations, for some of these workflow automate, because it's all about automation. I know we talk about AI a lot. We do say, oh, AI this, AI that, agents. Agents are still far behind. The goal is automation. I mean, when I say agents, I mean general intelligence. We're very far behind on that. So this workflow automation stuff is kind of working with the agents to make a better workflow. Okay, because agents alone make too many mistakes. It's just not happening. Anyways, look at the MACD. This is another one. Okay, we got a MACD crossover. Got a MACD crossover here. So we have MACD crossover. We're testing a break of trend. It hasn't broken out yet. I think I put up a filler trade. I'm not sure in the Discord. Not sure if I did. Either way, it should be breaking out. If this continues, right? You get the break. This one has a very trackable trend. Very trackable trend. Where do we head to? I don't know. Long term, who knows? Short term, we should at least retest 230. If we get some real strength, we're going back to 329. This has a lot of room to run. Okay, a lot of room to run. I wouldn't do any leap calls. There's too many. I think we're going to see a lot of volatility going into 2025. Okay, so we have Twilio so far, and Team Atlassian. Those are the two best so far. We have CRM. Okay, Salesforce. Well, they're the biggest monster. Okay, we have a MACD crossover for CRM. Damn it. We have a MACD crossover. Okay, it is picking up. This was after earnings. They did pretty well on earnings. The question is, well, does your products work? Does it make you money? We can look at some of the fundamentals here. I don't have them up yet because we're not doing a deep dive on these stocks. We're just doing a technical, we're doing like a technical analysis of the software sector. Some of these sectors are these industries that are picking up. So CRM has a lot of juice if it can get up. I didn't take a trade on it. I actually took my stuff off, and I'm pissed because it happened in a freaking GU Vernova. I took it off the day. It gaps up the next freaking day. It pissed me off. Anyways, CRM is trying to break out of this flag pattern. Okay. It is trying to show some strength here, but I want to see a little bit of, I want to see it because this is a big area of consolidation. I want to see, and I'll go to the previous lows, right? Last time. I want to see it support this volume stack a little bit before we move up. I want to see a little bit of consolidation at 260, 278, because once you clear 275, let's say 275, once you clear 275, you could get an easy 1 or 2 week push into 300. I don't want to chase it. We could retest 250. I wouldn't even doubt it if we retest 250. Let's look a little deeper to see what that action looks like. What is this price action looking like up close? Still need to hold earnings. Well, let's go ahead and throw up an anchored VWAP from earnings. Here we go. So if anything, okay, I love to do anchored VWAP. I think it makes the most sense from the event. If we go from the event, I'm looking for a pullback in a 250, 255, right? This is going to move up if it keeps trending. Once I get this pullback, that's when I'm going to look for an actual trade, given all else held equal, right? Next is ServiceNow. ServiceNow is a complete monster. And when I say that, I mean fundamentally, okay, fundamentally, ServiceNow is integrating. It has a massive, just like CRM, right? It has a massive network effect, right? If there's going to be automation, it's going to come from CRM or ServiceNow. Team is great, but it's not at the same level. And Twilio, it does something different. It does more communication. So anyways, this one also looks good. I don't think it's ready yet though. We're not getting the MACD crossover yet on the weekly. The daily's trying to push up. It could blow up. And if it does, I'll be a little more patient, but I'd rather see the break here, or at least the testing maybe of 900. But I'd keep my eye on ServiceNow. ServiceNow looks good. See where the volume's at. Let's go from that previous low. All right. So yeah, we should be retesting 935. It actually looks really good. I could be wrong here. Maybe I should take this trade. If it pulls back into 847, year-end rally, are they going to really chase it? It might not get chased as much because ServiceNow, I'm not sure, did have the best performance. Pegasus Systems, keep your eye on this. This is probably one of the most advanced automation companies. A lot like UiPath, a lot of automation here, mostly for finance. But this stock is very volatile. I don't like the patterns. Like, I'm not interested in these technicals. They look stupid to me, right? I'm not interested. But yeah, I don't like that. Looks like a straight shot. I don't like that. It looks like trash. But I will say Pegasus Systems has very good fundamentals. So keep your eye on that. Workday, not interested. Before I get to UiPath, let's go ahead and hit your MVST. This one has the best trend still has one of the best trends. Okay. This is a battery stock. Look at the RSI though. You see that dip? This thing needs to recover quick. It needs to recover quickly. It cannot continue to do this. It needs to recover. And it's done it before, right? Hits the trend. You can say it's done this before. This time it just exploded, right? Big explosion. Boom, boom. That's when it caught my attention. Bumped up against this trend, sold off. So it doesn't necessarily need to go straight up, but it cannot stay down here for very long. If we get below 330, my level is like 350. Okay. My level is 350. Let's just use our volume profile. We're going to do 2 of them. We're going to go from the very beginning to see how elevated it is. Okay, 330. And then we're going to bring it to the last support level. This thing is all over the place. 275. I mean, I wouldn't even doubt if it drops to $3. Okay. It needs to recover. Whatever happens, it needs to recover quickly. A lot of resistance up here. Let's go to the prior. Looks a little cleaner here. Okay. Yeah, we need a support 350. I'm still waiting. It looks good though. I mean, if you really want to like get more tactical, then I would just draw a box. I would just draw a box around this area. This kind of looks stupid. Hold on. Let's just do the daily. Okay, just draw a box. We need it because look, this was the previous support. So does it have anything to do with earnings? Maybe. Technically, this is one of the best charts that I see in the market, technically, but it's a small cap unprofitable, like it's a small cap unprofitable stock. So you can't get your hopes up. You need animal spirits to actually lift. Okay. What's my long-term performance in MVST? Depends on what you mean by long-term. If we're talking like 2027, then if we're talking 2027, I'm just going to do a fib. Oh, it is profitable. Is this the one that is profitable? Let me double check. Boy, he loves that stock. That boy knows because he was like, nah, don't you talk about my stock like that. Maybe this was the one that was profitable. I could have been wrong. Let me check. Let me see what it looks like. Let's take a look at it. You might like this website too. I'm gonna switch you guys over here. Let's see how profitable they are. If it is, then it would be a better dip buy for sure. Let's see how profitable it is. All right, so Microvast. Basically, what do? Is this Microvast? Yeah, this is Microvast. It's a battery company, right? They do special. This one doesn't even tell you its specialty. It's stupid. Electrical equipment and parts for, I think electric vehicles is basically the whole narrative here is electric vehicles, batteries for electric vehicles or components. So are they profitable? I don't know. I don't think so, bro. Yeah, I didn't think so. They're trading at 2.5 sales. Oh, that's pretty good. Let me show you when I say profitable, okay? Because you might get a little technical on me. Revenue. Okay, revenue's climbing. They're 400, 500. Okay, they're making revenue. Gross profits. Okay, great. They're making gross profit. But when I say profitable, I'm talking about after you strip all of their revenue. Look at their last earnings since last year. No, once you strip all of their earnings, are they able to retain any of that profit? No. Trailing 12 months? No. Okay. So what that means is they're making money, but they're not profitable yet. How do I make sense of it? It's like you take home $1,000 yet, but all your expenses and your investments leave you in the negative. So they're still their net income is still negative. I didn't think so because I took a look at a lot of these and most of them were not profitable at all. Okay. So is there quarters where where they have net income positive? Yeah, they had a quarter here, right? They had a quarter here, but on a the way the market's going to analyze this is on a rolling 12-month quarterly basis to see, okay, what about quarter after quarter, trailing 12 months, where are you? And they're not profitable. And you can get philosophical and argue with me, but I'm just telling you what how the market measures this. The market's going to look at net margins and net income. I mean, quickly, this is why I like this website. You can quickly look up here and just see what is the net margin, negative 28. So they're not retaining earnings as profit, if that makes sense. They're not retaining it. Their operating margin is 10.5%. That's actually really good. But as far as net, they're not taking anything home yet. Their last EPS was literally negative, bro, unless this thing is wrong. So, can I get a my bad? No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. All right. So yeah, I didn't think so. I was gonna say because I would have been a lot more bullish if they were. I take a look at a lot of these stocks, not just the technicals. All right, let's go back to let's get back to the technicals here. That's because of the loan. Yeah. Well, I mean, I mean, that's fine. I'm just trying to be more factual here, which is they're not profitable. The reasons why is important. It doesn't mean they suck. ASTS is not profitable. A lot of people don't realize that CrowdStrike is not profitable. CrowdStrike is the biggest cybersecurity name. And guess what? They're not profitable either because they're doing a lot of investment. That's where fundamental analysis comes in, though. Being able to read why are they not profitable? Is it because they're stupid? They're making mistakes? Are they not making money? That's a whole nother ball game. That's a deep dive ball game. We're not doing that today. But for the most part, this is a very small company. So I'm not going to assume they have a bunch of contracts like CrowdStrike and more so they're on the cusp of trying to become profitable. Once they do, I'll be very bullish, but they're not even close yet. Their net margins are not turning positive. So in my view, they are not close to being profitable. Maybe in a couple quarters, but the trend is good. So they obviously have a good business. Okay. They obviously have a good business going here. Um, Talking about battery, do I want to jump to battery stocks? No, I wanted to dive into UiPath because I think this is. I've been looking at this for a year. I started buying leap calls last year in December and got burned, right? Because I thought, oh shoot, they look great, great margins. Let's look at UiPath. Where the hell is it? Applications? Do I have any applications? No, I got it in software. No, that's not it. Damn, over here. Workflow. There we go. So UiPath, okay, this is where I'm very bullish next to Chainlink. Okay. UiPath is giving off Palantir type vibes. Why? Because Palantir is taking unstructured data and creating outcomes, outcomes for technology, for companies, right? It's taking unstructured data. They do a whole bunch of stuff. They really go in, they sleep with, they don't sleep with you, you know what I mean? They go in house, they see what you do, they use their technology. But a lot of people don't realize that UiPath is the leading automation. They're called RPA, robotic processing automation. They're the leader in the world. They are more advanced technically than ServiceNow, Microsoft, and CRM. Okay, go look it up. I believe, and matter of fact, go subscribe to the newsletter so you can read it. I released one the other day about it. And let me see. Who's the editor here? Who's it that ranks them? There's a ranking. There's a company who does rankings, and they basically have UiPath, ticker symbol Path, as the highest rated automation technology. The question about it was that, hey, well, is Gen AI, is OpenAI and ChatGPT, are they just gonna disrupt the whole RPA market and throw it to the side because it ain't going to do anything? Turns out, LLMs aren't that great. They make too many mistakes. So UiPath is using ChatGPT. They're using LLMs. They're combining them with their automation processing technology. They have 10,000 customers. I mean, I can go look it up, but they're more advanced than Microsoft, ServiceNow. They have a higher rating than Microsoft, ServiceNow, Salesforce, and SAP. I think that's in Germany, right? So they have potential. They have a lot of potential. The whole worry here was, hey, are you guys going to turn profitable? Like they talked about, are you going to turn profitable? Guess what? They've been profitable for 2 quarters in a row. And their PE, their forward PE is falling. I think this has the highest potential. Don't get me wrong, ServiceNow, CRM, they have more resources. They're $200 billion companies. UiPath is at 9 billion. It's at 10 billion right now. It is tiny, okay? On a technical basis, do we start with the technicals or do we start with the macro or the fundamentals? Yeah. Well, fundamental wise, let's just take this off. Fundamental wise, or I'm sorry, technical UIs. If we go all the way to the IPO, volume weighted average basically tells us we need to get above 20. That's when the real confidence jumps in the stock above 20. Okay. So once you get above 20, you're going to have a little battle, but that battle is nothing like this. This battle was like, okay, we can't get off. We can't get off. Right. I traded it all through here, got smacked around, got pissed off, gave up on the stock. And then this thing blew. And then I saw that they turned profitable. I was like, oh shit. Okay. We're back on. So they're breaking the trend. Okay. They've already broken the trend. So if you want to get, super technical, we're starting to clear. Okay. We're starting to clear out. If you want to get super technical, on top of that, oh, that looks stupid. I shouldn't have done that, especially with my slow computer. I might have too many apps on here. Okay. On top of the break of trend, volume shelf, we need to sit above 19. I just call it 20. We need to get above that. Once you clear 25, boom, it's game over. Once you clear 25, this thing is going to go to 50. And then I think it doubles to 100. So I got a 10. This is a 10x opportunity. I only have a couple stocks that do a 10x, and Chainlink is not a stock, but I call it, just say stock, crypto, whatever. Chainlink, TeraWolf, some of those, Iron, can I do a 10x? I don't think from here. Chainlink, TeraWolf. I don't want to talk about TeraWolf, Fluence Energy, but UiPath is number 2 for me right now because they're at the forefront. Nobody's ahead of them. They're ahead of these other gigantic mega cap companies in automation processes. Okay. They're a little more expensive because their tools are actually better. The question is, can they turn a profit? Can they suck in demand? They are starting to suck demand in now. So let's go ahead and flip. Okay. Let's go ahead and flip to the fundamentals. Where the hell is it? Okay. Let's go ahead and flip to the fundamentals here. So I can show you what I've been tracking for a while. And a lot of people are talking about UiPath now. What is this? I didn't click that. A lot of people are talking about it, and here we go. They're going to start talking about why. So it doesn't matter who gives it to you. Just know that, hey, this is a stock that's doing well. Okay. So this gives you like an overall rating. Really, what I discount is the relative strength. That's price action. We don't need green. All I'm looking at is blue, relative valuation, and purple. Green is what we already specialize in, which is technical analysis. Okay. So anyways, here's what's great about UiPath. Gross margins are at 83%. There's not many companies who are pumping 80% gross margins, right? Operating margins, they need to improve this. But the thing is, they just turned profitable. So they're starting to accelerate. The next thing is their price to sales. Oh, PE is at 42. This thing was at 500 or something. Price to sales, keep this in mind. Palantir sitting at 100 times sales. They're sitting at 6 times sales. Now, the industry is normally at, between 5 and 10 times sales. But once you break out, you can get anywhere between 10, 15, and 20 times sales. Okay, that's irrelevant. The biggest thing here is that they have 83% gross margins on $1.5 billion of revenue. Okay. Palantir's pulling in about $4 billion in revenue. So Palantir's only double the size in revenue, but trading 100 times sales. So if they trade 100 times sales, I don't expect that. If they trade 100 times sales, then we're looking at a $200, UiPath. It's sitting at what, 12? Or I'm sorry, 19. So we're looking at a 10x from here. Maybe actually more, like a 400. All right. But here's what the real thing you want to look at. Yes, they're making revenue. Oh shoot, my brother's calling me. Give me a second because this might be an emergency. You guys just give me a second, okay? Hold on. Hello? Shoot, I'm actually live right now. I'll call you back. All right, bye. All right, so anyways, we're gonna take off revenue. We know the revenue is going up. Okay, they have half the revenue of Palantir, which is really good because it's a 10 billion market cap. Palantir is literally trading if we're at 10 billion, 40 times, right? 40 times the market cap, but only double the revenue. What does that tell you about this as a, I don't want to call it a value stock, but I think I think there's a lot of value here. So I like to go to profitability. They weren't profitable in the summertime. They finally turned profitable, right? Their net margin turned positive 1.3%, not much. And then this earnings report is what I was looking for. Boom, absolutely exploded. They're at 14% net margin. That's huge. That's big. They took in 229 million in income. By the way, Palantir is not much further ahead. Okay. Palantir has a cult-like following. Path can get that. It's not the same potential because Palantir has a real super AI. Like they're the number one pure AI play in the world. But what they don't do is they don't do pure AI automation. They do unstructured data. They do undeterministic. This does deterministic deterministic workloads. So this can create all the bull crap that you have to do, like writing up an email, putting things in, all the stuff you don't have to think about. You just have to execute. This is what they specialize in. Better than Microsoft, better than ServiceNow, better than CRM, better than SAP. They're combining the LLMs of, maybe they take on Palantir's, who knows? They're going to stack the LLMs. So the generative AI stuff, they're going to stack that on top of the robotic processing to create, and of course the human still has to confirm it, to create something that doesn't exist yet. This is still risky because we don't know if it's going to work, but a couple companies are reporting that, and we'll go back to the technicals. I just want to show you that their profitability is, it's getting up there. They're doing well. Is there something I wanted to compare? I'll do a comparison next time. This is emerging as the best opportunity that I see in the stock market. Turn what off? I guess I'm taking up a lot of time. Okay, let's get back to the thing. I'm gonna hold on. I gotta mute real quick. Full view. Okay, let me go full view real quick so nobody sees the background. All right, we'll talk about it right here. Okay, it's off. All right, so what is the potential for UiPath? Okay, I'm telling you guys, this is massive potential. And I'm not saying go all in, but you need to pay attention. This next couple quarters, what's happening is that a lot of these, and they're in healthcare. We're talking like this is we're automating for healthcare, finance, healthcare, supply chains. What are the other things? What you guys should do, because I don't want to go too much into it. They do orchestration, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to send out a newsletter on this stock. I already did one of them. I'm going to send out another one. Just go through it, read it. I'm going to give you as much as I do, as much as I can. Can I turn it back on? All right. I'm going to give you as much as I can off the top of my head, but I don't memorize every little detail. More of a technicals guy. Or join the chat. It's up there in the left-hand side so you can get more insight. All right. So what is the potential here? I mean, I really think nobody knows, but if I do a Fibonacci from the IPO, I think we're headed back to all-time highs if it breaks out. If we get above 20, there's no resistance from 20 to 50. Once you hit 50, you're going to stall. And I think by end of year 2027, keep in mind, I think we are going to get a bear market next year, like at least a 10 to 15% correction. The way things are looking right now, I think UiPath can trade to 100 by 2028. I mean, it could happen sooner if it has a monster rally. If this thing gets adopted the way I think it is, and you have rate cuts, you have liquidity, you have ISM picking up, UiPath can literally go from 20 to 100. So this is now on board, and I'm monitoring it, but it is now on the board. They have to keep accelerating demand, revenue. The margins are fat. There's not many companies that have 83% margins. Their margins are higher than Palantir's right now. Okay, they just need the revenue growth, and it is supposed to be picking up. I believe. Let me see if I can find it. Well, on their earnings call, what they said was on the earnings call is that some of these companies are not even they were testing the tech and they're like, dude, let's just use it now. So they're using it now because it's it's deterministic, and then they can add in the LLMs with it. So as we speak, they're creating the first. I believe they're the most ahead in agentic AI. Now, of course, maybe somebody's out there building an agentic AI, but agentic AI assumes that you're not. Hey, no, agentic AI. Oh my god! Stop. No, agentic AI assumes that you're not just good at. Oh my goodness, you're not just good at generative AI, where it's a thinker, but automation. They're ahead in automation. They're ahead. They are absolutely ahead in pure automation processes. Okay, so goodness sake, huge potential. I'm gonna move on. Um, I'm gonna move on. Who's their competitors? Pegasus Systems is one of the competitors, but none of them are as advanced as UiPath. The other one is a Appian. This one might be good too. This has a little different use case. Bro, stop. This one has a little different use case. And 44. So this one has a lot of potential too, but I haven't done a deep dive on them. UiPath is the GOAT for sure. Right. So next software. So far, here's what we have. We have Twilio. Okay. Just if you're new, we have Twilio, Monster. We have Atlassian. Okay. And Atlassian, am I super bullish? I don't know. I don't know if I'm super bullish yet. They're not even profitable yet. They have a lot of revenue. They're not profitable. Twilio is profitable. Um, and then who else do we have? Damn it. Did I miss we had workflow automation. Oh yeah, CRM and ServiceNow, right? Those are the monsters. These are the absolute monsters. But are they going to do a 10x? No. They're not going to do a 10 or 5x. You're not going to get a 5x in 6 to 12 months with ServiceNow and CRM. You're just not going to get that. They're too big of companies unless they break out with the new, this is not going to happen. You do have that opportunity with UiPath. Okay. Twilio, no, they're not doing that much. Teams, nah, they're not going to do, they could do a 3x, but not a 5x. So UiPath by far. Now, data infrastructure, MongoDB is up there, but I think it made too sharp of a move already. So I'm not really looking at it. Okay. Datadog is ripping down. I'm actually down on this trade. Datadog, I'm very bullish on. This is data analytics monitoring. So they're going to monitor. It's like a data infrastructure play or data platform. They're monitoring cybersecurity threats is what it's going to be picking up, certain threats. I think this technology is getting adopted quick. They are turning profitable. I got to double check. Datadog has a lot of potential fundamentally, but what's happening is that CrowdStrike is putting on new stacks that kind of threaten them. So is it real? Is it a real threat? Is it actually going to threaten them? Who knows? But right now the market is like, I don't know if we can go all in, because what if CrowdStrike can just do what you do, right? Zscaler, I'm bullish on these. These are the top software security, cybersecurity stocks. You're gonna have who is this, Cloudflare, and they're all slightly different. You'd have to read my research. It's not really my research, it's AI. It's AI research. I'm prompting the best questions based off, my experience, and I'm using AI, really deep search AI, to make it digestible. Okay. So of course, why would I write all that research? That's stupid. But it is curated by me. So they're all slightly different. Cloudflare, Centennial, I'm sorry, this one has a lot of potential. They're Sentinel One needs to prove that they have enough demand. And if it does, this is going to come on my watch list. I mean, this thing can fly. But right now, it's just the market is not buying into it. Fundamentals do matter. It's doing okay, but the revenue, again, they're not profitable. And guess what? Their net margins are getting worse. So the market's not buying into it. Here's where I'm bullish. I put on this trade today, live inside of not live. I wasn't live, but it's in the Discord in real time. And I put this trade on. It's a filler trade. I'm not going super big on it, but I am bullish on Okta. I believe they're the #1 identity cybersecurity platform for identity. Like when you sign into apps and it checks your identity. So they've been getting hit because of, it's very tricky. I'm not a super tech guy, but the technicals are looking really good on Okta. And I know some guys that are in IT that are saying, hey, Okta should destroy everybody based on what we deal with. Okay. Um, let me go to these questions. My bad. I missed you guys. Mike said, thanks for the analysis. How do you see batteries in general with rate cuts? AI needs energy. Everybody's well, I'm mostly bullish, not necessarily on the EV batteries because they're competing. I'm bullish on utility batteries. I'm bullish on Fluence Energy. I think this is a 10x. We've been calling this thing literally since last year, since this big drop. A couple guys got in here early, and I was like, damn, I don't know if I could buy that dip. Then we bought it here at 8. You can go check. I made a video on YouTube about it. Fluence Energy. I said, can Fluence Energy go to, I literally said 20, I think I said 22 by the end of the year. Here we are, December 22. So this is one of the calls I actually made. I'm proud of myself. Got this one right. And they actually deliver utility scale battery energy storage technology. Remember, Microvast is doing electric vehicle batteries. So they're competing with all these other people. Fluence Energy is doing utility energy, literally energy storage software and batteries for the grid. So this is grid storage. Microvast is not grid storage. It's not grid security. This is grid security. And their only competitor, their biggest competitor is really, I want to say Tesla. So it's overbought though. I'm kind of pissed. Like I wish it would have came down a little further, but I'm telling you guys, this is another 10x for me. I think the market cap is 4 billion. I think it can trade to 50 billion. Maybe not right away. I want to see a pullback. It's up a little too much for me. I'm kind of pissed off. But this thing is a savage. I mean, the price action is a complete savage. Look at this perfect price action. Nice little flag pattern and doubles. So Fluence Energy is who I'm actually bullish on. These other ones, Novix and all these other battery techs, they're too far behind. They're not turning a profit. Fluence is not profitable yet, but they're almost there. They're about to flip profitable. If you track these stocks, yeah, EOS is trash. I'm gonna tell you guys right now. EOS is, when I say trash, EOS Energy has a bunch of hype. Okay, they are being used to build out energy storage. They're one of the energy storage. But when I looked at the fundamentals, oh my God, they were absolutely ugly. So when it comes to EOS, I mean, obviously the stock is telling us that it's special. Okay, it is special. But I'm not buying this crap on a sell-off until I see that their net margins are starting to flip positive. There's too many other plays that I can choose. But if they do, when I do see the fundamentals actually improve, I'm definitely going to be long because it's grid storage, right? We're talking about grid storage here. When it comes to the other ones like lithium, these are too volatile. You can trade them when the technicals are perfect. They're almost there. They're almost there. We'll see. Like this thing can rip, but dude, they're losing so much money. It takes one bad report for them to tank. I'm still bullish on them long run. I'm bullish on Novix. I mean, I'm sorry, ENPH too. In-phase energy, that's the other 10x I think that we can see. I think we got a 10x here too. Damn, this is taking way longer than I thought. It's all right. So anyways, wished I picked up some UiPath on that dip. Dude, it's still early. It's still early for UiPath. I've seen this before. I think it can dip to 1750. There's a lot of support there, 1750. I'll go over it later. But I think you're still early. I don't think you flip out. It depends on how you trade. If you're trading it, yeah, you want to get a good price. But if you're going to hold some shares for a while, you're early. Covering batteries, curious if you're looking at T1 and EOS. I don't know what T1 is, but yes, I do have EOS on there. I have Fluence Energy, EOS. I like Fluence a little better than EOS. Microvast for batteries, and then when it comes to this thing is outperforming. I don't know who they are, but I need to look at Energy Vault. I don't know. It's a small cap though. All right, let me get back to what I was looking at. Rubrik, CyberArk, CrowdStrike, Zscaler. So Zscaler is going to give us an opportunity, but I'm not too bullish at the moment. I want to wait for a turnaround. I want to see it turn around, but I'm telling you, there's an unlimited bid on cybersecurity. Okay. I'll wait for the technicals to turn bullish. We're not there yet. It might consolidate for a while. When it comes to software, who am I bullish on right now? Okta, I believe, is picking up technically, fundamentally. Okta, of course, CrowdStrike and CrowdStrike and freaking who is this? Palo Alto Networks, but they're too big for me to trade. I'm not interested. They're kind of locked in. right? Application wise, applications is a wide moat. We got Lemonade, okay, Lemonade Insurance. And I'm reaching my peak here, so I can't stay on too much longer. I got some stuff to do. I have an emergency. I like Tempest AI, even though they're kind of getting disrupted a little bit. Okay, Tempest is the technicals are not there for me. Lemonade Insurance, the technicals are overbought for me. I need to wait for a pullback. I might not get it. That's fine. Monday.com looks great. Looks great. I need to do a deep dive on the fundamentals to see if it's worth it. I'm not sure. Paladine AI. Remember, I said this might be one of the biggest. No, it's not. They need way more fundamentals. The business can be replicated. They claim it can't be replicated, but we'll see. I need to see more evidence. If so, this is a 20x opportunity. This is a huge 20, 30x opportunity if they can deliver. Don't go buying it though. Do not go buying it. They're not profitable enough. I love Adobe at these levels. Nobody's competing with Adobe. Okay. I'm sorry, Adobe looks great. It's just that there's too many big institutions who had to shed some. The technicals are getting better, starting to look a lot better. We'll wait for a bigger move before I really get long Adobe. C3 AI is the direct competitor with Palantir. They do exactly what Palantir does, but the company is trash. Somebody needs to get in there and turn it around. When they do, it'll break out. I can tell by the price action that there's some bulls in here. There's some bulls in here, but the company's not doing well. Bullish divergence also. Somebody's buying up. There could be something special. Do not go buy it early. Wait for the confirmation. We're not there yet. BBAI, a lot of hype here. Haven't looked into it deep enough. Here's what I wanted to show you. 2 stocks I'm bullish on. Zoom has some of the best fundamentals in the market for tech, for application. Okay. I think Zoom is building a product suite. Who knows? They're going to collaborate with somebody. Of course, they're competing with Microsoft Teams. But the thing is, other companies do not want to use Microsoft. If they're competing against Microsoft, they don't want to be using it. They want to use an alternative who they don't directly compete with. I think Zoom will emerge as a monster. We're not there yet, but I like Zoom. I think Zoom can trade to 200. I think it can double if they deliver the right products and services. Okay. This is what I'm starting to get very bullish on. This is Samsara IoT devices. This is the next frontier, Internet of Things. I have 2 stocks for you here, and I'm going to end with this. Okay. Other than, Chainlink, I'm going to end with this when it comes to stocks. IoT devices, I think, is going to be the next front. We have the AI stack. Okay. Chips. We have energy storage, power technology. We have cloud computing. We have compute power. We have, data centers. We have all this stuff that everybody already knows about. We have the hyperscalers. Obviously, we have the tooling. We went over that Twilio. AI applications for enterprise, which is UiPath. I'm super bullish on. Lemonade applications for the end user. Let's switch over to IoT. Okay, we're gonna have a robotic stack. Okay, a robotic stack. I'm going to build that stack for you guys. It's in the newsletter. Go check out the newsletter. Go subscribe to my stuff. Go to the freaking Discord so you can see everything that we're building. So you get a full macro view, not just of all these stocks and the narratives, but also the macroeconomics, what's driving the liquidity cycle. Okay. We need the ISM, and I don't think that comes till January for crypto and the Clarity Act. I'm just throwing that out there. Back to the stacks. There's going to be an Internet of Things stacks, Edge AI. AI is going to move to the edge, not just the cloud. That's how robotics are going to actually accelerate. The robotics trade is going to be massive. Okay. But what it needs is devices that are not connected to cloud, but still run AI. So internet at the edge, this Samsara is one of the top stocks when it comes to, it's really hard to describe. I'm not there yet. Okay. I'm not there yet, but Internet of Things is another big stack. And one of the suppliers I found is called Slab. Okay, I don't think anybody else is talking about this. Slab, in between the stacks. So if you think of like the stack for chips, right? You need Micron chips, you need storage. This is a semiconductor company who builds the Bluetooth connectivity. They specialize in connectivity. It's kind of like Bluetooth that connects the AI, the internet and the AI to the machines. So there's these devices, Internet of Things, they're devices that are physical devices on the local. Some of you guys already know this. They're local, so they're not connecting to the cloud. It takes too long. The cloud, it can get cyber attacked. These devices, in order to make physical AI, you need devices on the actual physical robots. they connect the Bluetooth that connects, right? That makes the connectivity between the internet. Not between the internet, but that connect. I don't even know how to explain it. See, I'm not there yet. Either way, Slab is a semi. Look into it. I'm not the smartest guy on the street. Slab specializes. Nobody does what they do. They're monopolizing this, and the narrative is not here yet. I got to look deeper into it. I got to find out where it's wrong, where I could be wrong. But right now, I think if this, how big is it? This company is small. It's a 4 billion. This is the bottleneck. The way that energy is the bottleneck for LLMs. Okay, this actually is a bottleneck. And here, let me try to describe it better. I just started looking into this. They engage in the development of analog intensive mixed signal integrated circuits. Damn it, bro. Seriously? Hold on. Okay, here we go. All right. So in analog intensive mixed signal integrated circuits, focusing on wireless development for platform products, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So it's a platform and they do all these different things. I'm not the best at explaining it yet, but they have a wireless Bluetooth stack and they specialize in it. Nobody else does. So I think this is going to be big. It could take 6 months. It could take a year. Either way, when the supply chain picks up, we're talking about Internet of Things all over every industrial manufacturing facility. All robots are going to need this, and this builds the chips for that. Of course, Micron can jump in and start building these, but they already have the supply chain for it. They already specialize in it. So stay tuned for Slab. Okay, I'm going to put out some research on it. Maybe next month, who knows? But keep your eye on Slab. I think that's going to be a big winner. So I'm big on Fluence Energy, UiPath. IoT is great. I mean, this is a bigger conglomerate. This thing is a monster too. I'm getting a little ahead of my britches here because I can't explain it yet. That's why I know I don't know it is good. Where crypto, I can explain crypto a lot easier. I'm still bullish on Chainlink more than anything else. Look, they just integrated with Coinbase. Tokenization of all real world assets is a real thing. Okay. As in, people don't understand it yet. The Clarity Act has to pass, but all assets, including bonds, real estate, stocks, everything that is an asset will be on the blockchain. Oh, I don't even know what you're saying there, Doifer. PI, also Pi. I'm not sure what you're saying. Maybe put a ticker. Is it a ticker? Anything is going to get turned to the blockchain. So right now, there needs to be a transition from the current financial system to the blockchain system. You need to be able to transition. Chainlink is the link that connects it all. Number two, right now we have real world use cases with Swift, all these other, they're all in the pilot stages. They're about to on ramp it for real. And Coinbase just announced that they're using Chainlink CCIP, cross-chain interoperability protocol. They're using Chainlink's protocol to bring real world assets, so tokenization, to Coinbase. This is game over. Nobody else does what they do. Oh, Pi is the Internet of Things. Oh, shoot. Okay. Nice. Thank you. Okay, let me put that on the watch list because I'm looking into Internet of Things stuff. Let me add that on. I'm gonna put it for now by Robotics because I don't have a space for Internet of Things yet. I guess it's a semiconductor. Let's see. Let's put it down here. I can put it by drones too. Robots. Okay, cool. So we got Pi there. Good. Oh, it looks good too. I can tell by the trend. So, anyways, Chainlink is the biggest opportunity in the market. Okay, it might take a couple of years. I'm not telling you guys this is going to go 10x right away, but this is a 0-1 technology. Nobody else is doing what they do, and they have a complete monopoly. They are the internet, not Ethereum. Bitcoin, of course, not Ethereum. This is more important than Ethereum for the blockchain ecosystem. Solana could overtake Ethereum in terms of what they do. Ethereum is ahead. I'm more bullish on Ethereum, but no one does what Chainlink does. Nobody, they have all these different services and compute. They're way ahead of the game. Okay. Way ahead of the game. This is still the number one. This is the biggest play I see in all of markets. Okay. I got that are more developed, Tesla, and Tesla's now doing so many things, right? You got SpaceX coming in. I got Tesla, Bitcoin, Ethereum as the big mega caps. When it comes to Large caps, I got Palantir. I guess they're a mega cap now, Palantir. And when it comes to mid caps, I got Chainlink and UiPath. Those are my biggest convictions right now. There's some other convictions I have, but these are my biggest convictions. UiPath is getting there. It's not completely there yet. Okay. Chainlink is 100% biggest conviction. Tesla, biggest conviction. But Tesla has some fundamental shit they got to deal with. They need to get past a couple of barriers. Palantir is it's trading at 100 times sales. Okay. Palantir has to consolidate for a while. You have Symbotic. Obviously, Symbotic is warehouse robots, blah, blah, blah. All right. Here's the final kicker. Let's just get to the kicker here. The market is bullish. I think the biggest thing here is what the market wants to see are the banks. Because the Fed, remember, the Fed is injecting US business. Let's go to US business confidence. The Fed is injecting $40 billion in US Treasury yields. Okay. Short-term treasuries, just so you guys know. They are literally injecting 40 billion starting tomorrow. So big liquidity increase, should be bullish, but it sounds like a trick, huh? Sounds like a trick. So the Fed is injecting money into the cycle. This is the ISM cycle. Okay, below 50 is expansion. There we go. It's really like 52. Okay, it's really like 52. I still think the crypto cycle is going to, let's turn that into a log. I think the crypto cycle is going to surprise a lot of people. Everybody's getting sick of it. When I start hearing people on my Discord and people I know, I'm sick of Bitcoin, I'm sick of crypto. That's when you know you're near the bottom. They want to give up on it. Pyth is an Oracle network for Solana and Cardano. Okay, yeah, Pyth. I know Pyth is good, but I mean, when it comes to security, Pyth has got hacked so many times. Pyth has made too many mistakes. I hope they survive. I don't want people to lose money, but Pyth is nowhere near Chainlink's capabilities. It's nowhere near Chainlink security. Just to throw it out there, I gotta be a little aggressive about that. They're just nowhere near it. Unless somebody proves otherwise, I just don't see it. So anyways, this is the cycle I think we need to turn up, the ISM. And listen, a lot of people are now talking about the ISM. We've been talking about this for years. It's literally inside of my freaking macro, my courses that I stopped talking about is the ISM, right? All the ISMs. So once the ISM crosses up, it is game over. Crypto is going to go to the moon. A lot of these mega caps, these small caps are going to boom. I don't know when that comes, but I'm assuming now that the Fed is cutting rates. The Fed cut rates. Okay. Liquidity is coming into the system. The US Treasury has 900 billion to spend spend on defense, whatever it is, to put more deposits in the banking sector. Banks are going to take risk. Everybody's scared of inflation for 2027. The Fed said, hey, we don't see it till later. The Fed is injecting, like QE is here. The Fed is injecting $40 billion every single month. They said that they're going to slow down in April, but starting tomorrow, they're going to start injecting liquidity. So you have to be bullish. I think the probability is much more tipped in the bullish area now. Okay. I think the probability is you got to be bullish. Of course, we might get a VIX pullback, bro. I mean, I'm looking for that VIX pullback. That's even juicier. I'm hoping. Oh, you know what? I should just do this. I should put the VIX at 20. That looks kind of cool. Let me get rid of the Bitcoin stuff. I should try this right here. Put this at 20. There we go. So we want the VIX to come back. It might not happen. We might just get a melt up. So you kind of have to be day to day. But if we do get a VIX retest of 20, that'll be good. It'll flesh out a bunch of crap. And that'll be the dip buy that everybody's going to chase into year end. I mean, we have what, 20 days? It's kind of game over at this point. It's kind of game over already. So I still think we see a year end rally. It's a little weird. It's different than usual. It is QE, but it's not natural QE. It's a different type of QE. I'm going to try to give you the best stocks that I see that are innovating. I also like Qualcomm, but it's a bigger stock. I like to trade options on Qualcomm. Tesla's going to break out pretty soon. I still think we get the year-end rally. We're not ready for genomic stocks. We're just not ready yet. Eli Lilly is a monster, but I do have some stuff down the pipeline. Again, go to the Discord, follow the, because I'm gonna have everything. I'm gonna have the entire. Because what I think is that we're entering a golden period for the stock market. Okay, I think let's go back to SPY. I think we're entering a golden period for markets, and we're gonna go up, up, uppity, up, up. A lot of these ETFs are gonna get the S&P 500 in them, meaning Bitcoin is going to be part of the S&P 500. All of them are. So eventually everything's going to be equity to some degree, whether it's an ETF or it's a coin, it's going to be equity. And I think we're at the most vicious, rally of all time. And everybody's like, overvalue it. It doesn't matter. AI is a nuclear bomb. And then you add on blockchain, creating more automation. You add on nuclear power. We didn't even go over the nuclear names yet. Nuclear power. You add on genomics, which is going to extend people's lives. And this is the greatest bull market setup of all time, and probably the most technologies converging at the same time. You got to be bullish. You got to be bullish here. You got to be bullish. And so I am laying out all these stacks in my Discord, the AI stack from bottom to top. I'm going to be laying out the robotic stack. I'm going to be laying out the Internet of Things, which might converge with some of these. I'm going to be laying out the genomics or biotech stack. That one's not ready yet. We're far from that. The blockchain stack, I want to say the blockchain stack, but it's really not that big yet. Blockchain is still very early. You can call it a stack, but the truth is a lot of these banks are creating their own blockchain. So they're taking out a lot of the use cases like XRP. Now they're just kind of meme trades. I don't believe in most of them. I don't believe in it. It's Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink. Solana probably will survive. A lot of them won't. I like Aave. There's probably other coins out there. Internet Computer has an amazing ambition. Does it actually work? Who knows? Other than that, that's all I got. Stay blessed. You guys eat healthy and lift weights. Get some sleep when you can. Be nice to people. Be nice. I mean, some of you guys are probably already nice guys, but try to help people out when they need something. To really, dive into your soul, because we are missing things in this time and age. We're missing stuff that helps our soul. We're missing that. We got to help other people around us. So, especially when they're in need. Because what is all this worth if it's meaningless? What is it? The selfish gene and the ego thing? Just it's worthless. Okay. And some people don't want to hear that, but yeah, forgive people too. Forgive the people around you that have hurt you. Do what you got to do to become a better person. All right. That's all I got to go. That's all I got though. I'll catch you guys next time. Christ is king. I'm going to keep you updated with UiPath. Chainlink, I think, is pretty. There's a lot of stuff on Chainlink, but UiPath, I think it's going to be a monster. You guys stay blessed. I'll catch you next time. Thank you.